Hey everybody, how are y'all? Thanks for coming on a gross day. That's awesome. And the first thing I want to say is any veterans, I really appreciate you today. I know, yeah, absolutely. I know both of my grandpas were in Vietnam and they're veterans, so it's near and dear to my heart. But appreciate you guys. Second of all, congratulations, soccer. Again, another motivational factor for other sports. It's huge to be able to see the authenticity of winning a championship and just the sheer emotions of what it takes and time and effort. And it's just there's something special about it, and that's a motivating factor. So good luck this week as well. Third of all, if there was a hole the size of Conway, I would have crawled in it Saturday night. I can promise you that. But what I wanted to portray to my team, and it may have been just me being out of sheer shock on how the game went, was I was actually probably in a better mood after that game than I was in some of our wins. And I think it's just the motivation of what a game will do to you, a game of that magnitude. To come out and play the way we did is unacceptable. It starts with me as the head coach. I didn't push the right buttons. We weren't prepared. We weren't ready. We got out-coached. We got out-schemed, and we didn't play very good. And that's unfortunate to play that way in mid-November for a game against a good opponent of a game of that magnitude. And it starts, obviously, with the head coach. And I didn't have us ready. And that's 100% on me. And as a young coach, I'm learning, and I'm trying to figure this whole deal out. We've had a pretty good year to this point. But in our 3 losses, we've let it snowball on us, and so this year. So if you look at the Southeastern game, the Nichols game, and then the Hawaii game, we did not make those 4-quarter games. Now, what we've done in the past is we've proven if we can play 4 quarters, play within a game get a game to a 4-quarter game, we can make the plays when it matters. And so, how do we get to that point? What buttons do we push to get to that point? And that's what we're constantly talking about as a coaching staff. I can assure you that we took some routes to this week that we haven't done this year to this point. One thing we usually do on Sunday nights is as we come in, you watch the opponent or watch the prior game. You clean up all the mistakes, clean up all the mess, all the stuff you didn't do right. You watch special teams, you watch offense, you watch defense. You sit in there for an hour with your players, showing what they did right, what they didn't do right, stuff to get better at. The old adage of teams burying the tape is exactly what we did on Sunday night. As soon as the players walked through those double doors, we had a team meeting, and I mentioned the game for about 10 seconds, and then it was over. Because I don't want, part of being a coach, and many of these coaches in here understand this, part of being a coach is being a psychologist too. And so my goal is for us to push forward and not worry about it. We're a good football team. Football's about your full resume, and our resume is pretty solid right now. Now, we've got to bounce back after a tough loss and finish this season out the right way. But our resume is probably one that probably 95% of the teams at this level would want at this point. Now, that doesn't discount what happened Saturday night. So that's why I wanted to move forward, because I know we've got a good team. If it could go wrong, it went wrong Saturday, and I didn't want to sit there and harp on that. So what we did was, usually on Sunday nights, about the past 5 weeks, middle of the year, we get an extra workout in on Sunday as opposed to a practice. But what we did was I buried the tape. We had a quick team meeting. I said, go get dressed, and we went out and we had about an hour practice on Sunday night to get the bad taste out of our mouth. I wanted our guys to get back out on the stripes. I wanted them to move around. I wanted to move forward. I wanted to introduce Stephen F. Austin to them, and let's turn the page. And that was my approach to that disappointing of game as we move forward. Now, what's ahead of us? Well, what I told my players on Sunday night was, in our team meeting, is I showed them the standings. Last time I checked, and I looked at the standings, and the Southland put them out. Purple's on top of the standings still. No matter what happened on Saturday night, Purple's still on top of the standings. So when I talk about football being a resume sport, it's a lot like basketball or a lot like soccer. What have you done? It's not your team's not defined on one game. And that's what I told my guys. We're not defined on what happened at Southeastern. Are we mad? Are we disappointed? Absolutely. But if you sit there and you harp on that, then you're going to affect the next 2 weeks. So we looked at the standings. Hey, guys, we're right where we need to be. Yeah, we're in a situation where we put ourselves in a 4-way tie. But 2 of those teams still have to play each other. Southeastern and Nichols still have to play each other. And both of them play tough road games this week. Nichols goes to McNeese, and Southeastern goes to Abilene. Those are tough games. So stuff could still fall our way. We hold the tiebreaker with Sam Houston, who we're tied with that 2 losses with. So there's a lot to play for. We're playing for the playoffs and all the things that you're looking for to have a successful season. So our guys are excited. I thought Sunday they responded like a championship team should respond. Look, some of our guys are young and dumb too, and they don't know any better. And I talked to our coaching staff about that on Sunday when we got in, that they probably got over it a lot quicker than we do. As soon as the game's over, they're probably thinking about the next thing they're going to do. And we're, as coaches, it's your profession. It's what you worry about. We're sitting there losing sleep over it. Our players got over it quick, I think. And so I'm excited about what's ahead of us for this week. It's my job as the head coach to get us to respond. And I can promise you, if you come out Saturday, we're going to respond in a positive way. There's no doubt about it. Stephen F. Austin is coming in as a hot team. Look, they have 2 wins. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about their resume. They have not won the amount of games they probably think they could have won or should have won. A very young team, a very, very talented head coach. Very, very impressed with what he brings to the table. He won a Division II national championship at Texas A&M Commerce in 2017, so he's got a track record of winning. So he's got a young team that's playing at a high level. If you look at the last 5 weeks of their season, they've put together a pretty good resume of playing with good teams. Played with Sam Houston up until the final 2 minutes. Played with Southeastern up until the fourth quarter. We know how tough they are. They beat Incarnate Word last week, so they're coming off of a big win. So we know the challenge is going to be great, and we're going to have to play our best football to win on Saturday and give our chance to continue to have a shot in this race and continue to bolster our playoff resume. But right now, another thing that you think about is, weeks matter. You think about being great in November, and that's what your goal is, because obviously you want to peak. And hopefully our team, I can promise you, has not played our best game yet, and it's obvious. But we found a way to win most of our games at this point. And so, if you look at what we've done to this point and you look back at even week 1, week 2, week 3, those games matter. You don't think about that in September. You just go to the next one. But those games do matter when you look at the overall resume. So I'm excited about where we're going. Obviously disappointed, but that's part of the challenge of being a coach and getting you ready for the next one. And I'm excited about the challenge, and I think our players are too. We'll respond, and we'll be better for it, and we'll put together the best game plan we put together all year, and we're going to put on a good show out here on Saturday. I can promise you that.